Good morning, students. So, in this video, we'll study about the speciation process. So, what is speciation? Usually, this speciation, it is the process of formation of new species from the previously existing species or the parental species. Now, this speciation process, it is of two different types. It is of two different types. That is the gradual speciation and the second type is that is abrupt speciation. Abrupt speciation. So speciation, it is the process of formation of new species either through mutations, through variations, changes, geographical isolation or reproductive isolation from the previously existing species, and it occurs by two different methods, that is the gradual speciation and abrupt speciation. Now this gradual speciation, it is a slow process and it occurs in millions of years. So this gradual speciation, it takes millions of years in the formation of new species, whereas the abrupt speciation, it occurs either through mutations or through hybridization, and it takes less time and results in formation of new species. So the gradual speciation, it is a slow process. It takes millions of years in the formation of new species, whereas abrupt speciation occurring through mutations or through hybridization results in formation of new species in less time. Now further, this gradual speciation, it is also of two different types. That is, the one is allopatric speciation. So the first one is allopatric speciation and the second type is sympatric speciation. The one is allopatric speciation and the second type is sympatric speciation. Now what is this allopatric speciation? So this allopatric speciation, it occurs in different geographical areas. So such type of speciation, it occurs in different geographical areas, and we will understand such type of speciation by taking an example of Darwin finches. Darwin finches. So these finches are the birds which are observed by Darwin in an island, that is Galapagos Island. So what Darwin found in Galapagos Island, that there are different types of finches present in that island, and these finches, they differs in their size and shape of beak. So these finches, they differs in their size and shape of beak. Now all these finches, they were supposed to come from the same parent, that is the grape eating blackbirds. So all finches, their ancestral parent was grape eating blackbirds, and the differences present in these finches, they are due to geographical isolation. So these finches from the same parent, they are separated due to the geographical isolation, and they move to different islands such as the Galapagos Island. And this isolation of these finches from each other or from their population resulted in their adaptation to different environmental conditions, and when they got adapted to different environmental conditions, their size and shape of beak get changed. So they came from a single parent, but due to geographical isolation, so this island is separated from this, again this island is separated from this, and this island is separated from this. So it is a geographical isolation of islands, that is Galapagos Island. So due to this geographical isolation, all these islands have different environmental conditions, and these finches, they got adapted themselves to the particular environmental conditions which are present in each of these islands, due to which their size, their body size and their shape of beak was different. So such type of allopatric speciation, it is basically caused by geographical difference in different geographical area, or due to different even we can say due to geographical isolation process. Now the second type of speciation process, that is known as sympatric speciation, and the example of such type of speciation are the pig, frog and gopher's frog. So this sympatric type of speciation, it occurs in same geographical area. It occurs in same geographical area, and it is basically caused due to reproductive isolation. It is caused by reproductive isolation. Now what happened to these frogs in this case, that is in case of sympatric speciation? These frogs, they came from the same common species. They came from same common species, and even they are present in same geographical area. So they came from the same common species, they are present in same geographical area, but this geographical area, it have different ecological niche. It have different ecological niches. This niches, that is habitat, and because these frogs are present in different ecological niches, that is in different habitats, and they got adapted to that particular habitat, so they resulted in the formation of new species. They resulted in the formation of new species because they adapted to that particular environmental conditions. They transferred their characteristics or variations to next generation and resulted in the formation of new species. So these are the two examples of allopatric speciation and sympatric speciation. Now we will study the abrupt type of speciation. Now the second type of speciation, that is abrupt speciation. This abrupt speciation, it occurs suddenly. It occurs suddenly. So this the type of speciation which occurs very fast or suddenly, that is known as abrupt speciation, and it may be caused either through a mutation. It may be caused either through a mutation, or it is caused by hybridization. So mutation we have already studied in last chapters, that is gene mutation and chromosomal mutations, which results in formation of new species. Now we will study the hybridization. So hybridization is a process of crossing two plants or two organisms of different species in order to produce a hybrid or hybridoma. So this hybridization we will discuss by taking an example. We will discuss here the two examples, in which the first example is of a plant, that example is your Raphanus or Raphana brassica. So the first example is Raphana brassica. So this Raphana brassica, it is a hybrid plant. It is a hybrid plant. which is obtained from two different plants, that is, it is obtained from two different plants, that is, the one is Raphanus sativus and the other plant is Brassica olivia. So this Raphana brassica, it is a hybrid which is obtained from two different plants, that is Raphanus sativus and Brassica olivia. Now this Raphanus sativus, in its diploid condition, that is in 2n condition, it contains 18 chromosomes, whereas Brassica olivia in its 2n condition, that is in diploid condition, contains again the 18 chromosomes. Now when these two plants are crossed, so first the Raphanus sativus, it resulted in the formation of gametes, and as we know the gametes are always haploid. So the n number of chromosomes, or n number chromosome containing gametes, that is 9 in this case, because we have 2n the 18 chromosomes and n the 9 chromosomes. And the gamete of Brassica olivia, it is also haploid and contains n number of chromosomes. So when these two plants are crossed, it resulted in the formation of a new plant which contains 9 plus 9, that is a total of 18 chromosomes, that is n here and the 2n condition. So the new plant contains the 18 chromosomes, 9 from this parent or this plant and 9 from this plant. Now when chromosome doubling was carried out, when chromosome doubling was carried out through chemical treatment, it resulted in doubling of chromosomes. Means these 9 chromosomes got doubled and resulted in 9 plus 9, and these 9 from this brassica, it also got doubled and resulted in 9 plus 9. So we have 18 chromosomes from this plant and 18 from this plant. So we obtain 18 from Raphanus and 18 from brassica. So in this way we have a new plant that contains 36 chromosomes. So as we know, here the 18 is 2n condition and here again the 18 is 2n condition. So 2n and 2n we have, that is in this plant the 4n condition, and as we know the 4n condition is of tetraploid. The n is haploid, as we know. The 2n is diploid condition. The 3n is triploid condition, and the 4n is tetraploid condition. So here the 36 chromosome containing plant, that is tetraploid, that plant is known as the Raphana brassica. So we have discussed this example, and now we will discuss the second example. Now the second example in this case of hybridization is Triticum aestivum, that is of wheat variety, that is Triticum aestivum. So this Triticum aestivum, it is also a hybrid that is obtained from two different wheat plants. The one is Triticum monocum, and the second is, that is your Azilotes. So the second variety is Azilotes and Spaltoides. Now in this case the Triticum monocum have a total of 2n number of chromosomes. The same is here, the 2n number of chromosomes, and in these two varieties here the 2n number of chromosomes is 14 and here also 14. Now when these two plants are crossed, the gametes will form, and in this case, that is in Triticum monocum, the gamete that is N, it will contain 7 number of chromosomes, that is half to the parents, and in this case also the gamete that is N will contain the 7 number of chromosomes. So the new diploid plant that is formed, that contains 7 plus 7, that is a total of 14 chromosomes. That is the diploid condition, that is 2n. Now when doubling of chromosomes is carried out, that doubling of chromosomes is done with the help of a chemical, then it resulted in doubling of the chromosomes from Triticum monocum, that is it resulted in 14 chromosomes, and doubling of chromosomes of Agilox spaltoides, that is again 14. So it becomes the 2n and it also becomes the 2n. So the total number of chromosomes comes to be 28, and here the 28 condition is 4n condition, that is tetraploid. Now this Triticum aestivum, it is produced in two hybrid steps. So this is the first hybrid step. Now this 28 chromosome containing tetraploid plant of B, it is known as Triticum durum. So it is known as Triticum durum. So this was the first hybrid step in order to produce the Triticum aestivum. Now in second step, what we do, this Triticum durum, it was crossed with another species of Agilox. So in second step, this is our first hybrid step, and in second step the Triticum durum, which contains 28 chromosomes, that is tetraploid, containing 4n, that is 28 number of chromosomes, was crossed with another species of Agilox, and here the Agilox species is Agilox squamosa. So here the Triticum durum contains the 4n, that is 28 number of chromosomes, and Agilox squamosa contains the 2n, that is 14 chromosomes. Now when these two plants are closed, what happened? This Triticum durum resulted in the formation of gamete, and in this case the gamete is N containing 14 number of chromosomes, and that is 2n. The gamete is also 2n because here we have the 4n number of chromosomes. So in this case the gamete is 2n, and in this case the n number of chromosomes will be 7. Now when these two plants are crossed, it resulted in the formation of a plant containing 14 plus 7, that is 21 chromosomes. Now this is the 3n condition. This is 3n, 2n from here and n from here. So it is a triploid condition containing 21 chromosomes. Now when the doubling is carried out, so it is 2n plus n, 2n from Triticum durum and n from Agilox squamosa. So when doubling is carried out, so we are doubling the chromosomes. What happened? The 14 doubled into its 28 chromosomes, that is 4n condition as we know in this case, and this 7 it doubled into 14 chromosomes, that is 2n condition as we know. So the total number of chromosomes became, that is 42. So total number of chromosomes is 42, that is 4n plus 2n. So it is 6n, and it is hexaploid. It is hexaploid condition. And this 6n containing wheat plant, it is known as the Triticum ST. So these are the two examples of hybridization in speciation, and in next video we will study about the human evolution. Thank you, students.